March 23rd, 2013, I'll never forget that day. Sometimes you have to realize you're not as young as you think you are. Back on that day, I ran a road race with some co-workers. And we essentially got into a situation whereby I ran the last leg of that race. It was 5 miles. And quite honestly, I thought I was Superman. I came in at 38 minutes. I thought, this is terrific. Wow, I just knocked it out of the park, mostly uphill. A little muddy, a little wet, a little snowy. It wasn't the best terrain. Again, you're in the middle of the woods on the Cal Haven Trail between Kalamazoo and South Haven. And so essentially I came in, my coworkers started to look at me kind of funny, and they said, "Are you okay?" And I said, I think I'm fine, and after I sat down and a little time elapsed, everybody started to realize I wasn't fine, including myself. So as I sat there and as I started to go downhill more and more, my coworkers proceeded to drive me home. In the meantime, they had talked to my wife. They had given her my symptoms. She called our 2 sons, Chris and Matt. So my wife, Val, got on the phone. She called Chris. She called Matt. They were at Grand Valley State at the time, both in pre-med. They know a little bit about medicine and different symptoms and so on and so forth. Well, they were convinced I was in trouble and I was having a problem and potentially even a heart attack. So with that, I argued with my wife. I said, I don't want to go to the hospital. I'm fine. Everything's great. Nothing to worry about. I just want to go to bed and go to sleep. I'm tired. Well, essentially, after a few conversations between my wife and I finally succumbed to the fact I needed to go to the hospital. So at that point in time, she brought me to Three Rivers Health. Again, me walking in here saying, everything's fine, I'm perfect, don't worry about a thing, life is great. They took me in, they assessed me, and it didn't take them very long to come in and say, Mr. Casterline, you're having a major heart event. You got a real problem going on, and we got to get you out of here. Is it Borges or Bronson? Where do you want to go? After getting over the shock of all that and realizing what was going on, I said, Borges Hospital. So they took me to Borges. And at 1 o'clock in the morning that day, it kind of hit me right between the eyes, because the doctor looked at me and he said, "Who got you in here?" And I said, my wife Val and my 2 sons, Chris and Matt, urged me to come in. I went to Three Rivers Health, and here I am. And he said, without your wife and without your 2 sons and without Three Rivers Health properly assessing you, and had you stayed home and not gone to the hospital and come in and been checked over, by morning you'd be dead. And if you don't think that is a sobering moment in your life and a sobering thought for you to sit there and think to yourself, had you won the argument, me in this case with my wife and my 2 sons, and I had won that argument and stayed home, I wouldn't be here today. Furthermore, it's all kind of come full circle, because just over the last year, I became the executive director of the Three Rivers Health Foundation, which has been a true blessing for me. Great people here. And if you don't think I'm excited when I come to work here, think again. Because when I come in here to work, I am on fire. I am passionate. I love what I do. I love the people I work with. And I always go back to that day on March 23rd, 2013, that life or death moment, that decision that I made to come in here, thanks to my wife and thanks to my 2 sons, and the great care I received here at Three Rivers Health, who properly assessed me without question. Had I not come in here, had I not been assessed in the manner which I was, I wouldn't be here today. So to say I owe my life to Three Rivers Health, obviously to my wife, to my 2 fine young sons, would be an understatement. And so it's been a true blessing in many, many respects. And I, again, cannot say enough about the professionalism, the great doctors, the great people. Everybody here at Three Rivers Health does an amazing job. They are absolutely an awesome team. And now for me to be a part of that awesome team has become an absolute blessing.